In times like these, what we trust is put to the test. With the coronavirus changing lives around the coastal Empire and Lowcountry, it's important to know the power of being informed.
WTOC Savannah news anchor Dawn Baker greets viewers each night with pertinent information that impacts their lives. When that information turned into news about a pandemic, she did what she felt she needed to do: take action. Dawn became the first person in the U.S. to receive Moderna's Phase 3 COVID-19 vaccination. How did you get involved with this study, and how did you become a part of it?
Well, Dr. Paul Bradley is the chief investigator with the vaccine study through Moderna, and Meridian Research Clinic is actually operated in his office. And so they do all kinds of research on every ailment that anyone could possibly have. So he called me about 4 days before this third phase began, and he said, I really need a favor. Would you be interested in taking part in the study? And I said, well, is it a live vaccine? He goes, no, why would I give you COVID-19? I'm like, hey, I got to ask. I said, is it going to make me more likely to get COVID-19? And he told me no. And so he told me, well, I should think about it. Give me a call back. So I did. And, I just thought that this was the right fit for me. I know people who have died from COVID-19. I know young people who are perfectly healthy, who've had a serious bout with COVID-19, who end up in the hospital on a ventilator and have had so many health issues since then. So it really did affect me in a big way, and I really wanted to do something to help. When I talked to the doctor, and he said that in phase 1 and phase 2, the most severe side effects anyone had was a mild cold, perhaps a fever, a headache. I figured that's a very small price to pay if we can get ourselves out of this terrible dark pit that we've been in for far too long.
Baker says she has 5 remaining in-person doctor's visits over 2 years. She uses an app to document any symptoms. She will have blood work, a COVID-19 test each visit, and she gets monthly check-ins from doctors. As an African American, Baker realizes there is a need for minority participation. People of color are disproportionately impacted by this virus. What would you say to those who are kind of on the fence and a little nervous and they have some trepidation about getting involved in a study like this?
I have learned that there really is a need for diversity in all of these studies, because I didn't know until I really started doing my own research and talking to doctors, not just my doctor, but doctors of color from different areas of the country, that, we as Black people react to medication differently than a Caucasian person, than a Latino person. So there is a need for not just me or a handful of people who are my ethnic background to be a part of the study, because we need to know that it works safely on everyone.
I'm Dawn Baker, evening news anchor from WTOC in Savannah, Georgia, and the history-making woman who rolled up that sleeve boldly. She's gone where none of us have gone before. And so thank you for paving the way for us. And we want to monitor you and stay in touch with you so we can see how you're faring over these next couple of years. And we thank you for what you've done. And I think you've opened up a great door for a lot of people who may follow suit.
Well, thank you so much, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
This year marks the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, which guarantees and protects women's constitutional right to vote. The journey to that vote was filled with countless women defiantly marching and protesting to ensure their voices were heard. Bold women like Susan B. Anthony and Frances Harper. These fearless ladies led the way so that we could go to the polls and vote for the candidates we feel are most qualified to represent us and our values. We can't take the right to vote for granted. I'm Atlanta City Council member Carla Smith, reminding you to get registered to vote. The deadline for the November 3rd election is October the 5th. Go to registertovote.sos.ga.gov. Again, registertovote.sos.ga.gov. Let us honor the memory of those who made our ability to vote possible. Don't let their efforts go in vain. Let your voice be heard. Use your power, get registered, and vote. Thank you.
I was just blessed to be able to be on the wall, not knowing that I was going to be here until a couple of days ago, and somebody sent me a photograph. But I mean, you know, I knew Hattie Watkins, who is the mother of Willie Watkins, and who helped to get the funeral home here in West End. So most of the people on the wall are people that I know, people that I've worked with. So these are people that have been committed to the West End and Westview communities. But even with that, they've been committed overall to the city of Atlanta in terms of making this city better. And I don't know of any other place, now that I'm going through my mind, where there are women that are being honored. So this is truly something great here in this city.
So glad you could spend a little time with us on this edition of Stay at Home Connect. I'm Phyllis Jackson. The federal government is distributing 150 million rapid coronavirus tests throughout the next few months. Georgia will receive 3 million of those tests. The Binax Now test provides results within 15 minutes. Governor Brian Kemp says the tests will be prioritized to protect those in long-term care facilities and keeping kids and staff safely in school. A new CDC study says coronavirus infections among adolescents between the ages of 12 and 17 have doubled that of younger children. Pediatric cases went up 10%. The study reviewed over 270,000 confirmed cases in school-aged kids between March and mid-September. Doctors say people under the age of 19 may be now playing a role in community transmission rates. Schools have reopened in the nation's largest school district of New York City, but there are worries as there has been a surge in new COVID-19 cases. Students in K-5 and K-8 are on staggered schedules. Nearly 50% of other students will continue with all remote learning, as parents chose not to send them back for in-person classes. Officials with New York City schools say they will close down and go to full remote learning if the positivity rate hits 3%. Despite the warnings about the potential for a twindemic, a combination of the flu and COVID-19, many parents say they will not get their children vaccinated against the flu. A recent poll involving nearly 2,000 parents of children ranging in age from 2 to 18 shows that 1 in 3 parents say they will not vaccinate their kids. Researchers say the numbers could reflect COVID-19's impact on healthcare delivery, as some doctors have limited the number of patients they see for in-person visits. 32% of parents say the most common reasons for not getting their children vaccinated include worries about side effects or the belief that the flu shot isn't necessary or effective.
Census 2020 is upon us. The results of the census impact every aspect of our daily lives: congressional representation, funding for schools, roads, and even hospitals. It's all determined by data from the census.
Atlanta City Council member J.P. Madzikite reminds us all about the importance of completing the census. The deadline is fast approaching. You can participate online, by phone, or mail. That's going to do it for this edition of Stay at Home Connect. We'll see you next time.
This is Madeline Archibong. I am the chair of the City Utilities Committee. Today is October 13th, 2020. I want to call this meeting to order, and I would like for Mr. Evans to conduct a roll call, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Andrea L. Boone. Councilmember Dustin Hillis. Present. Councilmember J.P. Matzekite. Here. Councilmember Joyce Shepard.
Present.
Councilmember Howard Shook. Councilmember Cleto Winslow.
Present.
There are 5 members present.
Andrea Boone. Good morning. Okay, that constitutes more than a quorum, and with that, I would ask that we move to the remote meeting statement. Please read that, Mr. Evans.
This City Utilities Committee is being conducted remotely as advertised and in accordance with OCGA 50-14-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert's Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting by dialing 1-877-579-6743, conference ID 831-599-1256, which was noted on the Friday, October 9th public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, the Council's homepage at citycouncil.atlantagA.gov, the Council's YouTube channel, or the Council's Facebook and Twitter pages via the handle @ATL Council. All presentations are available on the the Atlanta City Council City Utilities Committee presentation page. The agenda was published and made available Friday, October 9th via atlantacitygA.iqm2.com. In addition, the public was able to submit comments via voicemail at 404-330-6057 between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. the day before this meeting. These comments will be played during the public comment portion of the meeting. All persons present on the remote council meeting conference bridge are requested to mute your phones and speakers. Additionally, speakers must be acknowledged by the presiding officer prior to speaking. Each council member is requested to open your Outlook email and minimize the screen. Amendments, substitutes, and informational documents have been distributed to council members beforehand. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
Thank you, Mr. Evans, for that. And the next item would be the adoption of the agenda. I will entertain a motion, and this will be an electronic vote.
So moved, Hillis. Second, Matzekite.
All right, I heard Hillis and Matzekite. So if there's no further unreadiness, let's open the vote, please, on the adoption of the agenda. There's no walking papers, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
The vote is open.
Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Ms. Boone, are you voting electronically or?
Voice vote. My vote is
all right. Thank you very much.
The vote is closed at 6 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, that's unanimous. Thank you, colleagues. Next, I will entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved, Hillis.
Winslow, second.
Thank you. All right, if there's no further readiness, please open the vote. Ms. Boone, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Matzekite? Okay.
Okay, the vote is closed at 6 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, that's unanimous as well. Thank you, colleagues. Next, we're to section F, public comment. Do we have any public comment?
There are 2.
All right, please play it. Thank you.
Greetings. My name is Ron Shapiro. God bless America when she's right and have mercy on her when she's wrong. I'm very concerned about the utilities and infrastructure development and the fact that some of this infrastructure have impacted our streets where transportation needs are required of all our modes of transportation. Emergency vehicles, the striping of lanes, into narrowing them, and to be putting infrastructure on the streets. Streets that impede the emergency vehicles delivering service that may be saving lives. And it's disturbing to see that when I know that these are corridors that you all may not ride on, but I know Mr. Boone have seen them. I've seen him cry about the left-hand turn. And it was, he was, for 2 or 3 years that left turn wasn't able to make. But we all should be concerned when we see development for stadiums, but just a block from those stadiums, we have a lane that emergency vehicles wouldn't be able to move forward or backwards. And it has already been some tragedy where emergency vehicle was impeded, couldn't go no further. And we ask the question, how did it go forward? But yet we see Cascade, we see Camden Road with stories in Westview with these lanes. This is Indigenous Day. It used to be called the Columbus Day, where the New World imposed with great brutality on the indigenous people. We have neighborhoods. In these neighborhoods, there's a cry or there's a rally called New Atlanta. The New Atlanta does not have, that does not listen to or concerns itself with the cry of the indigenous communities that's been there, where even within blocks of railroad trains, there was human auctions that was being taking place. Jim Crow has taken place. The New Atlanta, the Maynard Jackson, the African American presence in political legislation has not protected us from the sensitivity or the lack of sensitivity. Listen to the voices of these communities. These single lanes on major corridors, that's what we have asked for. Greetings to you, council members and staff. And special greetings to you, citizens of Atlanta, who care about what your elected officials are doing. And Howard, being advocate, public policy analyst. Many people agree for a neighborhood planning unit to be effective, it has to have committees to mirror the committees of the Atlanta City Council. Neighborhood Planning Unit R, chaired presently by Antonina Robinson and formerly chaired by Ricardo Jacobs and Corliss Clare, as one committee. That one committee is the Land Use and Zoning Committee, perennially chaired year after year by Renette L. Scott, and posts as one of its members on Sherry Williams. Absent from the NPUR agenda meeting Wednesday was any discussion at all about the 1% municipal option sales tax that was promoted by the Department of Watershed Management. One would think that NPUR would want to keep its citizens informed about how that tax for the $4 billion Clean Water Atlanta program is being used. So, NPUR 9, when can the citizens of NPUR expect to hear from you about this matter? And Nita Robinson, Corliss Clare, Ricardo Jacobs, and L. Scott, Albert White, Allison Hathaway, Sherry Williams, and you NPUR 9 cohorts.
comment?
All right, thank you. We'll next move to G, ordinances for first reading. Mr. Evans.
Item number 1, 20-0-1621, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee to waive the joint venture notary requirement contained in Section 2-1450, requirements for joint ventures, subsection C, Article 10 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, and to authorize the mayor or her designee on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to execute an agreement with PC Lewis, a joint venture comprised of PC Construction Company and Lewis Contracting Services, LLC, for IFBC 1200270, Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station, in an amount not to exceed $49,960,000.00. All services will be charged to and paid from the fund department, organization, and account number listed, and for other purposes. Item number 2, 20-0-1622, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend FY 2021 Water and Wastewater Renewal and Extension Fund budget in the amount of $5 million and 0 cents, to transfer funds from the Watershed Reserve for appropriations and add funding to the Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station project and for other purposes. Item number 3, 20-0-1623, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee correcting Ordinance 18-0-1775, adopted by Atlanta City Council on January 7th, 2019, and approved by operation of law per City Charter Section 2-403 on January 16th, 2019. Deleting the incorrect reference to contract number FC8372, inserting the correct contract number FC9383, and correcting code section reference 2-19111 to section 2-1191.1, and for other purposes.
First read?
That concludes first read, yes.
Let's move to second resolution. First item, please.
Item number 4, 20-R-4433, a resolution by City Utilities Committee to amend Resolution 20-R-3417, adopted on February 17th, 2020, by the Atlanta City Council and approved by operation of law per City Charter Section 2-403 on February 26, 2020. Authorizing the mayor or her designee to exercise renewal option 2 with Ashbrit Inc. for FC 8392C for emergency on-call services for debris removal as needed, on-call emergency services for the Department of Public Works, to add solid waste fund department organization account center 5401 solid waste services revenue fund 130532 DPW yard trimming processing, 521-2001 consulting professional services, 4585000 yard trimming collection and management, and for other purposes.
Take item.
Item number 5, 20-R-4434, a resolution by City Utilities Committee to amend Resolution 20-R-3418, adopted on March 2nd, 2020 by the Atlanta City Council and approved by operation of law per City Charter Section 2-403 on March 11th, 2020, authorizing the city to enter into renewal option 2 with Ceres Environmental Services for FC 8392A for emergency on-call services and for debris removal as needed on-call emergency services on behalf of the Department of Public Works, to add solid waste department organization account centers listed here and for other purposes. Councilmember Armstrong, you broke up?
As did you, but I was saying that the recommendation from the department is to hold both these items for one cycle, and I make that motion.
Second, Metz Kate.
Thank you very much. There's no further discussion. Let's please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor to hold.
Yes, thank you. I see Ms. Boone.
Yes, to hold.
Thank you very much. Is that everybody?
One moment.
Okay.
Yes, the vote is closed. It is 6 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, that's unanimous. Those papers will be held for one cycle. Let's move to the next item, please.
Item number 6, 20R4435, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee to exercise renewal number 1 for SPS 1200145 e-Builder software support and training services with e-Builder Inc. on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management for a term of 1 year, effective November 1, 2020 through October 31, 2021, in an amount not to exceed $266,249.78. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the Fund Department organization and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Is Mr. Vaccaro on the line?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair and Council members. This is Deputy Commissioner Rob Vaccaro, Department of Watershed Management. e-Builder is a project management information system that Watershed Management uses to manage its 5-year, $1.26 billion capital improvement program. Earlier this year, under Resolution 20R3004, Watershed Management received Council authorization to enter into a special procurement with e-Builder to continue supporting the program information system software. The initial term of the special procurement runs from July the 24th of this year through July the 23rd of 2021. However, our license with e-Builder runs from November 1 through October 31. Watershed Management would like to exercise renewal number 1, which will be effective from November the 1st, 2020. This will thereby align the dates of the license renewals with the special procurement. The license renewal cost is $266,249.78. Just wanted to note that this vendor has provided an entirely satisfactory service. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that overview. Colleagues, any questions or
Motion to approve, Matsakay.
Thank you.
Winslow, second.
Thank you very much. There's no other discussion. Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Ms. Boone, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
The vote is closed at 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the next item, please.
Item number 7, 20R4436, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing additional funding for the PI number listed to SR42 Moreland Avenue from CS 1795 Mansfield Avenue to CS 3694 DeKalb Avenue in Fulton County, Georgia, with the Georgia Department of Transportation on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management for the adjustment, relocation of facilities as part of the project in an amount not to exceed $56,848.15. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the Fund Department organizations and account number listed and for other purposes.
All right. All right.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is Rob Lacaro again from Watershed Management. This legislation is to request additional funding for one of our projects with GDOT. The original agreement authorized an amount not to exceed $127,550.77 for construction services related to one of GDOT's streetscape projects on Moreland Avenue. Due to unforeseen conditions, additional work was required that increased the construction cost to $184,398.92. Therefore, an additional $56,848.15 is needed. Just a little bit about the project. It's on Moreland Avenue, from Mansfield Avenue to DeKalb Avenue. The streetscape project, which includes establishing bike lanes, installing pedestrian hybrid beacons, sidewalks with ADA facilities, and consolidating driveways to improve access and mitigate previous existing safety issues. Watershed Management had certain facilities within the project limits that exceeded our original construction cost estimates. In particular, we had some water valves and sanitary sewer manhole adjustments that required additional work to make sure that watershed management standards and specifications are met. Any questions?
Thank you, colleagues. Any questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval, Madam Chair. Winslow.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Winslow. Is there a second?
Second, Matsakite.
Thank you, Mr. Mazzacite. If there's no further discussion, please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Thank you. Ms. Boone, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hillis? Okay, great.
The vote is closed. It's 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Thank you very much. That is unanimous. That stands approved. The next items, I think we can take the balance of the resolutions as a block, colleagues, if there are no objections. All right, please read the items, Mr. Evans.
Item number 9, 20R4438. A resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number CW06003 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 10.
Wait a minute. Are you reading the first one or the second?
Oh,
you wrote 2.
Yes. Thank you for that. I skipped number 8. Item number 8, 20R4437, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number CW10002 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Now on to number 10, 20R4439, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number CW09092 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 11, 20R4440, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number CW15010 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 12, 20R4441, a resolution by the City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number CW05003 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 13, 20R4442, a resolution by the City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number 2004 L05WQ between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 14, 20R4443, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number 2005 L05WQ between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 15, 20R4444, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number 2006 L05WQ between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 16, 20R4445, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number CW04003 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 17, 20R4446, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to the loan agreement number CW98001 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 18, 20R4447, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number DW2018011 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 19, 20R4448, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number CW2018019 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. Item number 20, 20R4449, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number CW2018018 between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes. And finally, 21, which is 20R4450, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute any required agreements to modify the promissory note made pursuant to loan agreement number 2010L13WQ between the City of Atlanta and the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority and for other purposes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bala, are you on the line?
Yes, hi. Good morning, council members. Mohammed. Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, council members. Mohammed Bala, Department of Watershed Management. What you have in front of you is actually a program from GFA that was constructed to help utilities during this time of uncertainty. So there's a 6-month interest-free period and a 6-month payment-free period that GFA has allowed utilities to take advantage of. So we won't be charged any interest for a period of 6 months. In a nutshell, this provides about $2.8 million of savings to the utility. GFA is a strong partner for the utilities capital improvement program. We appreciate their flexibility and ability to work with Georgia's utilities during this time and giving us flexibility on the repayment terms so that we can get past this hurdle and the better path forward. So we appreciate the gesture, and we intend to enter into these modifications to waive the interest for a period of 6 months.
All right. Is there Mr. Ballard, thank you for that. So it's also the opportunity to not make payments as well?
Yes, so there's a payment deferral period for 6 months as well. And so what that means is that the principal amount that was due will just be due on the back end of the loan. But in a period of 6 months, we will not be accruing or paying any interest, which is very beneficial for us.
All right, colleagues, any questions? I'll entertain the motion. That will be on all papers 8 through 21.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Mm-hmm. Second, did you move approval?
I did.
Okay, so Ms. Winslow made the motion to approve all 8 through 21, seconded by Ms. Boone. If there's no other unreadiness or questions, please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 6 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, that stands approved. That was unanimous. Thank you. Do we have any other legislative items to come before the committee this morning, Mr. Evans?
No, that concludes the committee's legislative business.
All right, well, I'd like to take this time, and I don't know if any other colleagues wanted to comment, but the mayor has selected Nikita Browning to be the commissioner of the Department of Watershed Management, and I just wanted to congratulate her and to thank her for her dutiful attendance to all things watershed during this interim period, and we appreciate her leadership and look forward to continuing to work with her. Ms. Browning, are you on the line? Chair? Do you know if Ms. Browning is on the line?
Hey, Madam Chair, this is Nikita. Sorry, I was trying to get synced in. Thank you for the vote of confidence. You and the members of the City's Utilities Committee, I really appreciate the opportunity to continue to serve the city and citizens and continue to provide leadership to the Department of Watershed Management. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity and honored to serve.
Okay, well, stand by. We've got a couple of colleagues who would like to speak. Mr. Mazikite, followed by Ms. Shepard. Mr. Mazikite.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to pile on with the bouquets for the Commissioner Browning and really all of the folks in Department of Watershed Management. It's wonderful to see that we have a strong bench of people in the department, and somebody can step up and become commissioner and do it with grace and exceeding professionalism. The folks in my community really appreciate the communication that Commissioner Browning has had with them and with all of the people in Department of Watershed Management. So thank you for your efforts. There's probably nothing more core to human life than clean water, and we appreciate what you and your team do every single day for us. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you for those words.
Ms. Shepard.
Thank you. I'm going to say ditto to what Ms. Archibald, what you just said, Madam Chair, and Mr. Mazikite. And I just want to say, Ms. Browning, I appreciate when I call you, you're very responsive. Working for you as the interim, I appreciate your, just being thorough and giving me the answers I need. I appreciate that about you. Congratulations, and look forward to continuing working with you.
Thank you, Councilmember Shepard.
I appreciate that.
All right, Mr. Hillis.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Armstrong. Just calling on and saying thank you to Commissioner Browning for your many years of service, going back to managing our consent decree program and being our assistant commissioner and now our commissioner of watershed. And just want to also say that it's not just about the commissioner and our department; it's about your executive leadership team as well. And you have a great team under you, and y'all are all very responsive, and that's really all that we ask for and all of our constituents ask for, and it's very much appreciated. So thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you, Councilmember Hillis. I appreciate it.
All right, great. Well, there's no one else, and congratulations.
This is Councilmember Winslow. Just wanted to also say congratulations
I've just been real pleased with what I've seen so far in terms of her leadership and responding to everyone. So thank you for that. And I'd like to get together with you, Commissioner, on another item regarding Proctor Creek, and perhaps you can lead me to the right person in your department that's been working on that program with residents on the upper end of Proctor Creek.
Got it. Thank you, Councilwoman Winslow, and
Okay.
I'll follow with you after this call.
Okay. Very good.
Councilmember
Thank you so
Boone.
much.
Yes,
Councilmember
go ahead.
Boone.
Yes, Madam Chair, just wanting to also congratulate our new commissioner. And Commissioner, please always remember the seniors in the city of Atlanta, the senior citizens. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman Boone, and I'd like to share a personal note. My grandmother is a senior within the city, so it's personal for me, and I care about all our seniors as well as all the citizens. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's very good. So if there's no one else, and on that, to it. All right, colleagues, if there's no objections to that, we will stand adjourned. Thank you, Madam Chair. You're welcome. Thank you. Everyone have a good morning.